Hey everybody, welcome back to Ginger Flicks. I'm Joey.
And I'm Josh.
And today, Josh, we have a very, very special guest. He is a Ginger Flicks all-star, Mr. Dash Michaels himself. What's up, Dash?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing
Hey
today?
man, welcome back. Welcome back.
Doing good, brother.
This episode is a little bit different. It's
Yeah.
kind of a crossover episode because it's gives our good friend Dash here an opportunity to promote his podcast. Now tell us a little bit about your show, Dash. And it's Shirts and Hoodies, what? Right? Or Shorts and Hoodies?
Shorts and hoodies, brother.
Shorts and hoodies.
I love it.
So our show, Shorts and Hoodies, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on YouTube every Monday at 12 o'clock. It's kind of your typical kind of drive home morning show type, banter back and forth. It's kind of based in movies, music, pop culture, just all around. But it's just people sitting around talking.
Yeah, it's all the good stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Talk all the goodness, all that
You can
good.
If you're listening, you can already find us on the pilot episode.
We've made an
Episode
appearance.
1.
Yes. We
Which
came
is
out
really
there-
all you need.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean,
Don't
if we're
listen
on
to
it,
any of them.
be
Don't
real.
listen to any other episodes. Just number 1 and then delete it. Don't do that, please.
Just yeah. You guys don't have to worry. The best episodes already come out. He's pulling an Orson Welles here,
There we go.
doing his best work right
We'll
at
see
the
how
beginning.
we'll see how this one goes. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Maybe just as good, if not better. Kind of like the movie we're reviewing.
Oh,
Yes.
this is funny because last time you were on the show, Dash, what movie did we review?
Justice League.
And now
The
what?
Whedon cut.
The Justice
Exactly.
League, if you will.
We said it a year ago when we had you on that we would bring you back for this event.
Yes.
You, sir, you have come back. The Snyder Cut has finally come out,
Yes.
and I am ecstatic.
Yes.
We all
I-
aged so much after watching that movie.
I know.
I have more gray in my beard, I believe. I put the hat on because I think the hair has definitely receded into my head now rather than just being really short.
Yes, sir.
I need to tweeze my eyebrows. I have a Peter Gallagher thing going on. Nose hairs will whistle.
Oh, you haven't gone
had,
for Scorsese yet, though. With
No,
your
not yet.
eyebrows.
No.
Okay.
What was-
Eyebrows are out here like that.
I had the Bogdan look from Breaking
Yeah.
Bad.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh yeah. Oh dear.
No, it's funny. So listening, watching the movie, and I'm going through notes and everything on my phone
Yeah.
as I'm watching it. And I was like, I wonder if I can remember not necessarily what I ranked it, but
Right.
yeah, pretty much what
But what
kinda
actually
how I
happened at the
ranked
beginning because it
original
happened
one.
so long ago?
Yeah. And from the Whedon cut to the Snyder cut, whew, I can't wait to get into this. I really
And
can't.
let's
Let's
Yeah.
just say
do it. Let's just dive right in. Like
so. Initial reactions, like first thoughts, as soon as it was done. What do we think?
I watched the movie with my mom and my brother, and I was tearing up a little bit. I really was. Not from sadness. Well, a little bit from sadness that it was over, because even though it is a 4-hour movie,
you don't feel it.
It does
You
not
really
feel
do
it.
not feel it.
and it I wish more movies.
Josh
gave that
is making
detail,
faces. I know. Sorry to interrupt you, but Josh is making faces. But Josh does not like long movies. He hates them.
Really?
That is a damn lie.
You hate long
Listen,
movies.
I have watched The Irishman, enjoyed it. Endgame, Lord of the
You-
Rings.
The
I don't
first
care.
complaint you had about The Irishman was it was too damn long.
Well,
The first complaint about Lord of the Rings, they were too damn long.
That is
You
a
do not
lie.
you do not like long movies.
I have
I've
zero
said this to
complaints
you
about
1,000 times.
zero complaints
So many
about
lies here.
Lord of the Rings. Zero about Lord of the Rings. That is a perfect trilogy, if you ask me. Just saying.
Ouch.
Just
Yeah.
saying. The original.
They're
I think a movie needs to be 4 hours long if it needs to be 4 hours long. I think as much detail that Zack Snyder went into, it was perfection to me. It answered a lot of questions that just kind of got skimmed over. You know, I
Yeah.
like he painted a beautiful picture. You don't paint a beautiful picture in an hour and a half or 2 hours. I'm sorry. It
But
takes
I think
4 hours and
yeah.
a kick-ass choreographer. I'm sorry, just got through done
Composer,
dancing. Yeah, composer and
Or
director.
cinematographer or whatever.
Just-
cinematography,
Like,
all of
but
that.
see,
Oh yeah.
that's the problem. I don't think, because first of all, you go to a movie,
Yep.
and people were worried with Endgame because Endgame was 3 hours long, right?
Yep.
And people were worried, especially I would say higher ups at Disney or Marvel, because you cannot have as many screenings when you have
Correct.
a 3 hour movie, right? Because
Right.
you got to allow at least half an hour from when it ends for them to clean, etc.
Mhm.
Things like that. So you just don't have enough time in the day. And then, sure enough, Endgame becomes the biggest box office movie of all time.
Well,
Until recently, Avatar
yeah.
over. But whatever. They're honestly, Disney's just going to be playing
They got both the monies anyway.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's going to be a back and forth game with Avatar and Endgame for God knows how long until they
I
make Endgame
did
2,
not like
and that makes
Avatar.
$3 billion, right?
Right.
The thing is, I think like 4 hours to me. First of all, let me say the movie itself is considerably better than the last movie.
Right.
Like just
Oh yeah. Oh.
I want to say
yeah.
almost night and day. And before we get into the specifics of it, characters, etc. I just feel that I'm sorry, 4 hours is too long for a movie. There is a limit. I'm watching it, and there is some things of dialogue that doesn't need to be in there. There is about half an hour worth of slow motion that doesn't need to be in there.
Josh,
Like,
everything looks better in slow motion.
Listen, just because Dave Chappelle said so doesn't mean it's right.
Everything looks better
Remember,
in slow motion.
I'm sorry, that
That
moment
was the one thing that we
the
were
bathroom
missing from
stall,
there was
going to the washroom did not need to be in slow motion. I'm just saying, like,
That was the most important part. That needed to
I'm
be
saying,
in slow motion.
look, and just because Jason Momoa is a beautiful man, him standing there does not need to be in slow motion.
Oh,
He's
but
just
it does.
standing there. I'm
But
like,
it does.
My mother would disagree with you. My mother would
Listen,
disagree. I think my favorite thing that my mom said the entire movie was, okay, he took his shirt off, but why does he get in the water with his pants on? Take your pants
exactly. Why does he take his shirt off in the first place? It's called For the Ladies, or for anyone who's willing to look.
I
Right,
am
I'm sorry.
confident enough in my heterosexuality to comment and say how awesome of a man Jason Momoa is. He
That
is
man
gorgeous.
fine.
He is gorgeous.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you, Dash. That
between
man is
him-
wow.
But
Just
between
wow.
Between him and Cavill, just
I was gonna say, like, him and Cavill, like, the two of them. Adonis.
That's a man sandwich right there.
Yeah, a
That's
man,
a man sandwich. That's a
manwich.
man sandwich anybody would want to be in
So-
the middle of.
So anyway,
Doesn't
in my
matter what
opinion-
end of the spectrum you're on there.
No. So yeah, in my opinion, the movie itself initially like much better. I liked how they fleshed out certain story arcs, certain characters. We got full on, and look, to the credit of Zack Snyder, I don't agree with a lot of choices he made for characters, but the fact is, this movie is a complete story, and I got to give him credit for that. And so, like, I'll say that. And again, there are good things, but there are a lot of things in it that I was like, nope, not necessarily for me. Not necessarily. I'm not saying it's, and I'm not saying that it's bad either. Like some of the choices, but I can recognize when something is good, I just don't like it, or when something is straight up bad. And I think some stuff is just not for me. That's all.
I also would argue you're not the biggest fan of Zack Snyder's stuff, and I will admittedly say a lot of his work is very hit or miss. It depends on what movie. I mean,
But I would
come
say
on,
that's
like,
not true.
See, I disagree.
But I would say that's not true because
there's movies like
Watchmen?
Sucker Punch that should not have existed.
yeah, Sucker Punch was garbage.
You
But like
shut your-
Watchmen
you
is
shut your
fantastic.
goddamn mouth.
No,
No,
I knew
stop
it was
talking,
coming.
Josh.
I
We're
knew it was coming.
not skipping over this. You shut your goddamn mouth.
listen,
Sucker Punch to
is
me
terrible.
is
I'm sorry.
Snyder's number one. You shut your goddamn mouth now. That's
I'm sorry,
that's gonna
man.
Do it for us here at
Snyder's
Shorts and
done a
Hoodies.
lot of
Ginger Blake
better.
will not be on the show anymore. No. And I think what it is, though, because I biased movies that have also win. through the looking glass, which
Okay.
that is one in of the scenes that he goes through. That's what it does. I love
I
that fucking
personally, I found follow talking tonight or
Right,
today
right.
or listen to this or watch to characters in this version of Justice League, such as Cyborg and Barry Allen and the Flash. Like those two guys got the short end of the stick in the last version of this
100%.
movie.
100%.
Like
Cyborg is practically the lead in this movie. Like he's
Exactly.
that was
practically
Zack
the-
Snyder's plan the whole time.
Yeah.
and see that's the
If
thing.
you go
This is
looking at it though, in terms of this world that's been built, it makes the most sense for him to be one of the central focal points of the movie, because his existence he attributes to the mother boxes completely already. Like he has that connection to the one thing the guys are trying to like chase or prevent Steppenwolf from getting. Right? He has that already, that close connection.
He has an
to
actual connection to it.
Exactly.
Right.
So it just seemed so disjointed the last time out in the Whedon cut that he had virtually nothing to do.
I don't think they even mentioned the fact that it was a mother box that would actually created him. In the
No, they
last
do.
one.
They do.
Do they say that? I know
They brush it over so.
Yeah.
It's like they sprinkled a little bit of it.
Well,
and that was
yeah.
it.
See, I only knew that because, again, this version of the Justice League is based on the New 52, which, in my opinion, is it's a decent story, the whole thing with Darkseid. It's just, it's a weak version in that you don't have Green Lantern in the movie, and you replaced Martian Manhunter with Cyborg. Cyborg is a Teen Titan. He's not a Justice League member, but he has been since the New 52. And that's cool. Like, that's a different take on it, but you sacrifice an iconic character that comic book fans are aware of, not necessarily, unless, well, I mean, if you watch the Justice League cartoon, you'd know. But again, so we sacrificed Martian Manhunter for Cyborg, and then they translated that to screen. And then with the Whedon cut, his story arc got the shaft. Like it really did. He was such a weak link in that version.
He was just there.
Yeah.
In Wheaton's cut, he was just existent. That's it.
Yeah, I remember when the Whedon cut, watching it and not really caring.
Oh yeah.
That's how it was. It wasn't that I liked him or didn't like him. It was.
He can tap
into this.
But there was nothing. They gave you nothing to care about for him.
Right. Yeah.
That's what was frustrating. Like he's supposed to be like this integral part, and it's because of him that at least he is a major point of defeating Steppenwolf. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be able to find the mother box, at least in the Whedon cut.
Yeah.
And this time around, it goes back to him. But if it wasn't for Silas Stone and him superheating the core of that thing, they would have never found it. So they give you so much more depth and such, especially for a character that people don't really know, and they weren't super sure on whether or not they were going to continue with a standalone film yet for him. Yeah. So Snyder's like, okay, since we're not going to do that, at this point, let's just assume that this is an anomaly, and I don't think we're ever going to see a Justice League 2 or a Man of Steel 2. This is a fun little thing that the fans won over.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, if there's one thing... Okay, well, hold on. Before I even go... there's two things, I guess, or one thing that I liked more in the Whedon cut, which is very strange to say, but I still like the fact...
Get out of my house.
No, hold on. No, because, Joe, I feel like you would agree with me on this one.
Get out.
I actually liked that when Superman came back, except for the fact, like I like the fact that, hey, I'm sorry, the Justice League stood no chance against him
In
Right.
both versions.
in both versions.
In both versions.
I
That
like
is
that,
important.
but because I'm sorry, he's always made a bitch sometimes. However,
Let's not talk about Supergirl.
but what I did appreciate in the Whedon cut is that he came back, and when he finally suited up, he acted like Superman in the comics. I believe in truth and justice. Like, I know people are like,
yeah,
that's
that was good too. Like
and
I like that
I
too.
actually I liked it because that's how he is. He is that symbol of hope. Where even in
Mhm.
this one, he came back and I did like the dialogue. You know, I don't want to waste the second chance and all that stuff. Appreciated that, and of course I love the black suit. Like the black suit was awesome.
Yeah.
But he still came back, and it was still Snyder's vision of how Superman should act as opposed to how Superman does act. And I still loved it. I loved the footage, the fight, amazing. Like it was all good. And I love that image of him, you know, when they're looking at Darkseid and you
Yeah.
got Superman in the forefront, like staring back at him. Ooh, that
See-
gave me, I love that. But again, he just didn't give him a chance because Superman was in it very little. So he didn't give him a chance to actually even give a few lines where you're like, that's Superman. That's why they need him.
For me, I can appreciate the truth justice thing, but for this cut, for the Snyder cut, to me, it wasn't what the Justice League needed.
But
No,
that's what
it was.
That's what I'm
it
saying.
was-
I liked it more in the Whedon cut. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
Right.
I liked it more in the Whedon
See,
cut.
for that, okay, to compare the two versions of Superman, there
Right.
are two versions of myself that like that. Now, the one that liked the version in the Whedon cut, and I did like it. I liked the things he did. I liked the dialogue, aside from weird upper lip action.
Yeah, not talking about the visual.
Exactly.
Talking
Visually, it was horrendous, but I get that, and those were cool little fun tidbits and parts of the movie that it was fun to have, right? And again, it goes back to being like a Superman purist.
Yeah.
The
Like, and
purist in me loved that stuff. Now, the movie nerd and film nerd in me didn't mind the changes that were made. I mean, come on. It shows it's Superman in a different light. Again, it's a little bit darker of a Superman, and we've come to terms with this through the 3 movies we've seen Henry Cavill's Superman in. And I feel like it's kind of a consensus. Everybody likes his portrayal. They just don't like the direction it's been taken. But again, that's just Snyder's vision. It's just the way he wants it.
And I just feel like Superman goes, like, I don't feel like Zack Snyder, like, he can say that he wanted to turn Superman after like 5 movies, which is, like, again, that's too much, bro. Like, anyway, he wanted to make Superman that symbol of hope after 5 movies. But he goes from being the lead in the first movie to like a supporting character in the second one to like a cameo, basically, in the third movie. Like, I'm sorry. It's like,
no, I mean,
and
Superman
he's so
was done.
obsessed. He's
he
so
was done a
obsessed with
little
making
bit
Superman
dirty.
bad. Like, he's so obsessed with that evil Superman.
Yeah,
You know?
it was, but
Cool
again,
visuals, but not cool enough story for me.
But what I really like though, the one thing is when he does come back in the Snyder cut, and Steppenwolf is about to drop that axe on Cyborg, he just swoops right in. He doesn't flinch. He just lets the axe hit him and stop. And he goes.
That look he gave.
He looks at it,
What?
looks back up, has a smirk, like that shit-eating grin.
Like cute axe.
Exactly, and it's like
Literally.
and then he just says, "I'm not impressed."
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to beat the hell, the living hell out of Steppenwolf.
Like, no joke.
I just loved how this version was about, we can't beat Steppenwolf on our own. We need his strength.
It reminded me a lot because I don't remember, and I just watched this. I don't remember Steppenwolf getting a hit in. It reminded me of that trailer for the Batman where he just beats the shit out of that guy.
That was
Like
just
that
wails
is
on
what
him.
what it
Oh,
reminded me of
oh.
with Superman on
Well,
like
Steppenwolf.
this
kept
version of
going.
Superman, like, yeah, it was fun to have the other Superman, but this one was just strictly pure power,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
He wasn't messing around.
No.
Well, I mean, in the
No.
last one, it was so evident that Steppenwolf still had no chance. You know, Superman came in, he was dodging him like it was nothing.
Yeah.
But he punched him a few times. I think he punched him once, blasted him with like heat vision. But it wasn't as, what's the word? It wasn't as brutal or like
Wasn't as vicious.
It wasn't as
This-
like as
Yeah,
this
this
one.
was just
This
like-
one, it was just like
He beat him like he had an appointment to get to.
yeah,
Like, you know, like I got stuff to do. I got to hurry up. I got to get out of here.
yeah,
Like,
was
it
like,
just kept going, unrelenting.
yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching Superman and Lois
Mm-mm.
Dash, but it was like what was the villain in the last episode? I can't remember.
Oh,
his
it's
name,
just a random.
yeah,
Like this one now.
the one that just came out that we just did the review.
Kilgrave.
So
Just watched it.
this villain Kilgrave, right? He's like giving Superman a bit of a hard time. Superman's holding back, but then in this series, right, he's got kids, so he hears his kids are in trouble. Literally, he's like, "All right," and what he just claps his
He
hands.
does like the Hulk clap like
Yeah,
Mhm.
and just Kilgrave's done. He calls Sam Lane, General Lane. He's like, "Yeah, this guy's taken care of. I gotta go." Just like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He let Kilgrave get like 2 or 3 shots in. It's like, all right, I don't want to
But-
hurt him too much. But
but
then
it's
it's like,
like-
oh crap, my
yeah.
kid's in trouble. Boom! Like,
Yeah.
slap, and it's done. And that kind of reminded me, I was like, yes, this is what Superman needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to be this powerful. And again,
Yeah.
the 2 different versions of Superman, but I mean, in Snyder cut of Justice League, Superman is a force to be reckoned with.
Well, he is now.
Yeah.
You know, in Batman versus Superman, not so much.
Again, though, but holding back.
Holding
We've
back.
had this conversation about Superman, just you and I, 1,000 times,
Yeah.
and we both believe it, that he is constantly holding back.
Yeah.
I do not think in the Snyder cut, Superman is holding back on Steppenwolf just because it is a being from another world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to kill Batman, and that's the point. He says it right off the get-go. If I wanted it, you would be dead already.
Yeah.
So he's holding back that entire fight in Batman vs Superman. Not so much in the Snyder cut. Like, he is just like all out, right? He basically beats Steppenwolf to the point where he has no armor anymore, so Aquaman can stab him in the chest and Wonder Woman can cut off his head.
Cut his fucking head
Just
off.
slice it clean off.
When that happened, I was like, damn. Like,
I was like,
it
yes.
was. I mean,
I was like,
just from the
Oh.
first F-bomb, I was like, oh, this is a different movie. Like, and then
Well,
it happened
yeah.
again.
No, but and I agree. Like the whole, but okay, like the whole cursing thing. You know, Cyborg F the world,
Right.
Batman at the end. I'll effing kill you. I was like, okay, that's just,
the first 2 were just whatever. That last one, when he was like, I will fucking kill you. Like, there's certain power behind the F word that
Yeah.
if you say it right and you look a certain way, that it is just perfect. That last one, when he said that, there was enough air and to come off of it that I thought it was perfection.
well, that was it. I agree.
Cool. Yeah. So I think if you can say the F word, it's the Sam Jackson, effect.
Mhm.
To me, there's nobody who can say the F word better than him. Ben Affleck was good. That I think that at the end was needed.
I think
You know,
Macaulay
the-
Culkin did it best in The Good Son. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah, deep pull.
That's
Yeah.
a deep.
That's a deep dive.
dive, man. That's a deep one.
But I think the dig at Robin and then the dig back with
Mhm.
Harley, or the Harley Quinn dig and the Robin
Yeah.
dig, I think it was called for. For
Oh,
the
honestly,
epilogue.
I loved that exchange, and
Yeah.
it was kind of nice that they gave Jared Leto a second shot.
Oh, just I
It
mean,
was-
he
it
had a
was
whole
not-
monologue, and it
I
was
mean,
nice-
like,
beautiful.
He had
I
a nice
thought.
little Jim Carrey impression there. The laugh, the look,
Yeah.
the way he spoke. What, man? Like I was like, oh, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, the way
So-
he
but-
says it, it was yeah.
But I mean, that's that. Like, this is the little things of an actor like Jared Leto you get out of it, and it just makes me wonder how much was actually cut out of Suicide Squad.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
he was probably supposed to be in it about a good half hour in Suicide Squad, something like that.
Like
And end up being
the fact that he was pissed of how little of his work was in Suicide Squad
yeah.
just
Yeah.
makes me wonder.
I like
I-
that they got rid of
know?
the tattoos, the goof, all
Yeah.
the goofy
Yeah,
stuff.
that
on his
was
face.
all goofy and crap, and it was
I
stupid. But
I liked the cuts on his face. It
Yeah.
was a nice addition. I don't know.
It's-
It looked like he had gone down on a strawberry cone or something.
Yo, I was saying
It
it's
was-
more
it
like
was
it's more like
much.
Heath Ledger though. It was very
Yeah.
much like Heath Ledger
it was
style.
closer to that, yeah.
Yeah,
and I
the
think they
psychopath,
sort
yeah.
of.
I mean,
think that was sort of the direction Zack Snyder told him to go with it. But again, look at the situation though,
mhm,
right? Like that scene, because now we're into the nightmare sequence,
mhm.
and what possibly could be the future.
Yeah,
So, and
this
I
is a future
think,
without Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
and of course Superman being the bad guy. Assuming
you mean the hero?
right?
everybody-
What if that's the twist? They're
Yeah.
all the bad
That's-
guys.
What if it is? Yeah,
There's a reason why I like the movie Brightburn, because it's the way Superman should be.
Just being real. But it's funny though, talking about the F-bombs and stuff. And I remember being in
I remember they irked you a lot. You told me you were not a fan of those.
okay, look, I didn't like okay, first of all, you know what, Dash, I agree the way Affleck said it. I agree that like it's true. Like as an acting thing, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Because I remember like how you're mentioning, Sam Jackson stuff. And I
Right.
remember being in college, in theater school, and one of my teachers, we were doing like improv and stuff, and this is acting improv, and she said, because we had kids in the class, people in the class that didn't swear.
right.
She said that like fuck is one of the best words you can say because it can emphasize anything, it can convey any emotion, and I was like,
It can be a noun.
Right,
It can
it
be a
can-
verb.
it can be
Anything.
and it can like it's really for that emphasis, for that feeling. There can be so much put into that word, and she's like, it's the best word, and I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, I never thought of that, and
Yeah.
now I've always thought of it since then. And it's true, like Batman, or at least Ben Affleck, putting so much weight into it
Yeah.
was great. Now, do I necessarily think Batman would say that in the comics? Not really. I'm not saying
again,
he would or
it's-
wouldn't. I don't read enough Batman to actually say that. So,
Right.
just as a writing standpoint, I don't know if it fit. But the one for me that didn't fit was the Cyborg one. That one
Yeah.
did not fit for me.
yeah, what is
For
it
me.
like? Fuck people
He's
or
like,
fuck
the world
humanity or
whatever.
something
And I
like
was
that? Yeah.
dude, okay, like we get it. You're
edgy.
almost
But
more
it wasn't
emo.
even about edgy though. It was about more being emo and
Yeah.
upset about the fact that he is this freak of nature, so to speak,
Yeah.
or like this freak of technology, right?
But
And it's just supposed to convey that to us. But yeah, it was a little bit much.
a bit much, but that's
But-
not really something. That's not something that really hinders the movie in any way.
Right.
I mean, of course, the length. Some people, like myself, I think 4 hours is too much, but
Not
some
enough.
people love it. Whatever.
It
I
needs
mean,
to be longer.
series.
But hey, make it if they made it like a
8
full-on
hours.
HBO Max series, boom. Give me a season of Justice League.
That would
A
be
season of this. I will.
That
eat
would
up.
be good. That would be great.
I would eat that up. You know, because they split
You want
it into
4
parts
hours? Here's
anyway.
9.
What's I'm saying?
You want 4?
I can't come into work today. I'm sorry.
No, but if they made it like
Binge-
a week, hey, if
Binge
they made it a
9
weekly
hours
thing,
of Justice League in one sitting, you sir are a champion among men.
But
All right.
I mean, are there some things that you guys just didn't like about the movie?
No,
Yeah, man.
there wasn't.
I'm with
Wow.
Dash on this
See,
one.
here's
I
my
I am
question.
Dash. I am 100% with you on this.
Wow. See, here's my
I
question.
thought this was great. I mean, no movie is a perfect movie.
No.
It has their flaws.
Well, I
but
think there's a difference between a perfect movie and finishing a movie and go, that was perfection. Like
this
the
was
story.
so, like everything was
that you-
so meticulously done, and it just fits. It does elevate the other two movies.
Oh yes,
It
yes.
really does, because after
It makes
watching
me want to go back, and especially somebody
I
who
did
did
that
not
though.
enjoy
I
Man of Steel
did-
that much.
I did that. I went back,
Mhm.
like, because I did one viewing and then I did another viewing because I did one viewing for the hell of it because I needed to see this thing without being critical,
Right.
and then I watched it again for the podcast. But in between those two viewings, I took the time. I sat down, and I watched Man of Steel
Mhm.
and Batman vs Superman, because that's the trilogy, right?
See, and I still
Yep.
can't watch Batman
And-
vs Superman.
But
Garbage.
this elevates it. It
Yeah.
elevates
Movie.
them, because it now there's actual, like, a linear connection between the three films.
To
Right.
be honest,
So
Right.
for me, Man of
Superman-
Steel is it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say what Superman did to Steppenwolf. He needed to do that to Batman, and just see what
Again,
happened.
though, but we have already established he does it because he's holding back.
No, but
Yeah.
when he returns,
could have
and then
killed
there's no more
Batman
Batman.
in
That's it.
instant.
Batman's done.
They can't kill Batman.
What?
Yeah.
It's not really Batman.
Batman
He's old.
Batman is the only character in DC that makes money. They can't kill Batman. I'm
Well,
sorry,
I think
Josh.
more than that too.
it's
Even
so
in the
true.
comics, Batman has the best villains.
His
for
rogues
DC,
gallery
Batman
is a
has
lot more
It's the
interesting.
most iconic rogues gallery.
Yes.
The real big rogues gallery in DC, you got Batman, you got Superman, you got the Flash, who literally it's called the Rogues Gallery when you have like
Right.
Captain Cold and all that stuff. And then you have but then you have Wonder Woman with like Cheetah,
Yeah.
but then you got Green Lantern, who's got a pretty solid.
But for the most part, when you talk about villains with superheroes, it's always kind of an offshoot of what the hero is, whether it be the Flash and Negative Flash, or say Iron Man with Whiplash. Like there's always like something that the hero has.
You
the
have
villain
Man
has
Bat.
too.
You have
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
aside,
I mean, yeah.
aside from like Lex Luthor, though, most of Superman's villains are from outer space.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
He's
I
got
think-
Bizarro.
I think what I was
and
gonna say
then you
was
got Bizarro.
yeah, bizarre. And you know what? So there was a little part of me, even in the epilogue, when Superman came down, and I was like, when the head was down and he picked his head up, I was waiting for it to be Bizarro. I don't know. There's the tiniest part of me that would have been like, "Better."
Oh, they should do a Bizarro one.
But I
That'd
think
great.
with watching the 4-hour Snyder cut made me appreciate Man of Steel more than I liked it. And it wasn't that I don't
Yeah.
like Man of Steel. The hour-long fight scene between Superman and Zod was so much for me. And I was just like,
They take
is this thing not over
facility-
yet?
See, and
They
that's the
take
one
no
thing I-
civilian life.
But
into
that's the one thing I
consideration in
loved
that
about
movie.
Man of Steel.
Really?
There are things I totally disagree with Man of Steel, but the one thing I loved is how, because we've never seen a Superman fight like that ever, and you literally had two gods wailing on each other,
We've never
Yeah.
been able to see
and
it, though.
Yeah.
but it was so we could have with Superman Returns. They could have gone that route, but
They
didn't.
were stupid
But they
with Superman
didn't.
Returns. Let's
No.
not
But-
talk about Superman Returns
but-
until we do that as an episode.
Yeah, but with
Okay.
Man of Steel, we actually had the opportunity And in my mind, at the time especially, I thought it was the best fight with superpowers. Not like, just hand-to-hand combat. Just the way they like the way Snyder filmed that, punching each other across the city.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. And I did think, it may have gone a bit long, but I loved it. Like, for me, I was like, give me more.
I was able to
Fight
appreciate
everywhere.
the final scene of Man of Steel, but I think more so, and when we talked about the last time I was on, this being a direct, sequel to Batman v Superman, it really felt like it this time. It really did.
Well, this time it had elements that connected the two movies.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Josh Whedon's, it kind of did, but it really didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Right? I mean, this uses the same videos per se that Bruce Wayne discovers of the other metahumans, for example. Right? They go back to the nightmarescape.
Yeah,
which does not happen in the Josh Whedon cut.
Yeah.
Right? There's that connection again. They, they take a repositioning of the camera for Superman's death to open the movie. So it just,
you know what?
They
as much as I
give you, they tell you this is a direct follow up.
Yeah.
I loved that opening sequence.
The
just
Wheaton version
the beacon.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that death scream, and it's just like and this time around they actually say that Darkseid and Steppenwolf and the Mother Boxes were not gonna do anything until they realized Superman was gone.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid of what he could do.
Yeah.
Rightfully
I mean, that's the one thing I mean, admittedly, I loved the opening of this much better. I loved how it tied into all the worlds kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, though, it's just the fact that we had to kill off Superman in his second movie when people barely liked him in that movie was dumb. Like, he should have died in a Justice League movie. They needed to make Doomsday a Justice League villain, and Superman is the one that dies then. Like, it all ties in with Snyder's vision, which, hey, at least it's a full story. And this is one of those things that I don't like as the story, because Doomsday was wasted in the last movie. Just utterly wasted.
Yeah.
It looked bad, but to fit in with Snyder's vision, I appreciated the opening, and I appreciated the way they handled his Superman's death and the way it plays out throughout the entire movie. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah. So was there anything that y'all didn't like?
For me, a couple things. Like I said, so much slow motion. I don't know how I feel about Ezra Miller's Flash.
In slow motion.
I like that they gave him more story, but I don't really. He's not like, that's not how Barry Allen acts at all. That's not even how Wally West acts at all. He's more like an impulse. I don't know. There's something there. I love the ending when he pushes past light speed.
Oh yeah.
Like, the visuals for the Flash were great, but I think
You hated the slow motion though.
You know
See,
what
I thought it was better. I thought it was done better in this movie than I've seen it in any other place.
Oh yeah. Oh,
do you
totally. Totally.
the way he's
Say the Snyder Cut versus Quicksilver.
Oh, the way they used his powers?
Yeah, the way it was shot and everything. I
Totally.
like how
But
smooth it was. And I think the thing that I appreciate more than anything, especially the scene with him and Iris, is how
That scene is so
gentle he
boring.
was with. Oh, shut up! Oh, I loved how gentle he was with her, in the sense of one,
I'm sure she did
she's
too.
so beautiful, but two, it almost looks as if he knows that if he were to move too fast, he would just break her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as if they kind of take physics
Yes.
into consideration in this.
Well,
Yeah.
they do mention that he's a genius,
right?
right?
So, like,
he
because
knows.
like in, you know, uh, with Quicksilver, he just moves everybody real quick, no big deal.
Right.
But with this,
Mhm.
it's different. He does it slowly and carefully.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
with this one,
but he's still going at like the speed of
But
light.
see, the difference is because again, I'm sorry, that Quicksilver scene in Days of Future Past and even in Apocalypse are great. Like they
Oh yeah.
will be iconic.
Yeah.
Mind you, the best version of it is when Family Guy did it.
Exactly.
Did you see that? That was
It's so good.
funny.
Gosh, look it up.
It was like
But-
one of the newer episodes. It was
Oh,
so
see,
good.
Dude, I stopped watching Family Guy after the therapist episode. It just wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah,
The
that
therapist
was
episode is
a hard one.
to
I
get
skipped
through.
that one, to be honest. Like I've
I
seen
just
it.
haven't
fun.
watched it since.
Yeah, that
I was
bit
watching it the
from
other
this
day at the
season.
hotel, and I was like, "What is this? Is this new?" And it was, and I was like, "I'm done."
But anyway, but what I got to say is the difference between like Quicksilver and the Flash is the Speed Force. Quicksilver's just fast. The Flash is fast, and he's got the Speed Force, which is that electricity, and I love that every single time it kind of emanates around him, and especially at the end when he's going past light speed, sort of traveling back in time. That looked phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal. And I was like, you know what? That's a cool scene. That needed to be in the last one.
This movie was visually stunning.
And that's Zack Snyder.
The visuals were stunning.
You know what I loved even like my favorite shot, and this is, you know, again, just biased look at my t-shirt, but when Superman finally flies up in the black suit and he's hovering in space and it's the silhouette of him with the sun.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful shot.
It took me back to that horrendous Superman Returns when you get that Brandon Routh shot of him turning, and it's like the glow of the sun and everything, which was to me the only good thing about that movie.
The plane catch. I love
the plane sequence was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, look,
I recently rewatched Superman Returns, and nothing happens in that movie.
Nothing happens.
No,
nothing.
It doesn't. Yeah.
It was
talk another time.
It was so frustrating.
But yeah, so I mean, all in all, I do feel that Snyder overindulged with that little orchestral operatic woman singing every single time Diana was on screen. Like she just walked. Hey Diana, hi. Like she just saying hello. Like we get it.
It was the guy he got to compose or to do the
Junkie XL.
Yeah, it was Junkie XL. That's what he wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It wasn't bad. And because he had already elaborated with Hans Zimmer, which I know, Dash, you love Hans Zimmer's work.
I'm a big Zimmer fan.
And his work is pretty good. I'm not going to deny that, right? But I kind of did miss it, and I know it was a Josh Whedon pull, but I did miss the old John Williams just Superman theme. It would have been nice for it to have played
the silhouette.
At that scene, when Josh was describing the scene of the silhouette scene, just just to hear that.
Or when he's walking out initially, right away in the black suit, and you hear the bum ba bum bum, and then like,
I think for me,
that song still gives me chills to this day.
That is,
and the first time I watched that movie was like at Josh's house. And it wasn't even the first Superman. It was probably Superman 4. And the first time I ever watched Superman, I was like 5 or 6, hanging out at Josh's house. And that music it still sends chills down my spine. And that is the only thing I personally feel the Zack Snyder cut was missing.
Yeah. I think it would have been perfect for the space scene, with the sun and the silhouette.
Just that,
but
just like
that scene, the scene when like the doors open and you kind of see he's hazy. It reminded me so much of Russell Crowe, like in the black suit, and it was just it almost was like
I
his
think
father.
that's what the plan was.
I
Yeah.
think
That's the
why.
whole reasoning behind the black suit.
Yeah.
I think it's
At least in theory.
It was almost
him
like
just
you
like,
see all the
I
suits
am
opening
Krypton.
up,
Yeah.
and then you
I think
hear
totally.
it was
hear both dads' voices, and it was just like,
I think it
I
was
am my father's son.
I
Yeah.
think it was to pay respect to Jor-El. I just wish that at the end, again, this is just a very small thing that I liked more in the Whedon cut, is that when you do see Superman open his shirt, I wish it was back to the blue. The red
I thought that
Yeah.
was weird. That was a weird
because,
little like nitpicky thing that we have, but I was like, yeah, no, that should be the
Because-
red and yellow S. It should not be it shouldn't still be the gray one.
Yeah, like that would have just been nice just at the end.
Yeah.
Well, because we've seen him in that suit already, throughout the movies. But now we get the black suit. Great. That's like straight up fan service. Awesome. But just
But like a nice bright one with like a bright blue, a bright, like all the colors just like really bright. That's what needed to be done there.
Yeah, and then exactly going from there into the next movie, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They have definitely
symbol.
set up something. And I know a lot was weighing on what's going to happen with this, how big it's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to, or if they're going to want to bring Ben Affleck back or anything.
I thought
he was wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I personally have no qualms and no issues if they were to just do these movies and just throw them to like HBO Max or something like that.
They make
just
it like
because
a multiverse,
make it like a multiverse, but it's like, and Scorsese said this when he put out The Irishman, because people were asking him, why did you make such a long movie? He goes, listen, this is the way film is going right now. And it's great for us storytellers to, embrace it and say, hey, people have this time. They can stop this movie. They don't have to, they can watch it on their own time. They can plan it out. But it allows us to put a film together and tell a full length, fully fleshed out story.
Yeah.
However long it needs to be.
Yeah.
And
right. And that's like, when you think about it as like a filmmaker or, a director or writer or whatever, the fact now that streaming is so big and a lot of it is attributed to people now, that it's really the only way we kind of can consume this content right now.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of places, theaters aren't open. I don't know about where it is where you are, Dash, but I know where we are, theaters are still a no-go.
Yep.
Right?
Now we're closed.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like
now
New York and LA.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. Now you have this new form of media where you can tell a long epic.
It's straight up,
and it's great.
No,
it's great. I mean, it's the only one that this benefits is us as an audience.
I mean,
right? Because now we get these great stories being told. I mean, yes, The Irishman is long, but as far as the movie goes, it's really good. It is a great story from beginning to end.
But at this, so here's my counter to that. Because at the same time, yes, look, if you allow a director to tell a full story, sometimes you need those other people to say, dude, this is too long. Look, as a choreographer, sometimes I have directors saying, look, this kid can't do that. Or something like that. And look, for the most part, I'm like, look, but I want them to, or I have faith in it. But I'm not saying all the time. Like, I'm not saying that. But sometimes you need a person or people to say, no, you got to trim it down a bit.
Well, it's not going to be like every
Entourage.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch
Go ahead, Dash.
No, but did you ever watch?
I agree with you. But at the same time, I will have to say there's something very pure about telling somebody, do what you want. You have a vision.
I agree.
Let's see how it plays out. And I think originally that's what happened. And then, the Snyders went through that horrible tragedy and they had to do what they had to. As he stepped away. And it's not any blame on Joss Whedon, what he edited together, so to speak.
But
Again,
there
though,
were
I feel
things
like Josh Whedon was going more by studio notes
but there were things in the
than
Whedon
anything
cut.
else.
There were things in the Whedon cut, for example, like you saw him. Like there were things in the Whedon cut, like for example, when Clark is talking to Lois and his mom, they re-edited some of the dialogue, which was practically the same, and all people could see was the damn mustache.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, why
Yeah.
did you edit that dialogue? There's nothing wrong with what Zack Snyder did.
That's the other problem there. It's a matter of now becoming Josh Whedon needs to shoot X amount of footage and put it in the movie so he can get the credit.
Yeah.
Right.
But he didn't
That's
get
how
the credit.
But
Even in the
he has a shared credit.
Yeah.
No, but
Look
in
it
the
up.
Whedon release, it still says directed by Zack Snyder.
It's been changed now. It
I
has
think after
officially been
seeing-
changed.
After seeing this, the real fans know.
Yeah. No.
That's that Whedon
On the
cut.
IMDb,
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
on the IMDb, it has officially been changed, and it says directed by Zack Snyder
But that's
and
IMDb.
Josh Whedon.
But that's IMDb. In the actual release of the film, if you look at it, it just says Zack Snyder. It doesn't even.
Then, oh yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, after it was released, and we learned more and more about the production, the truth is that there was a lot more shot by Josh Whedon than we realized.
Mhm.
Right?
Well, I
Yeah.
do miss that Russian family.
Yeah,
so much.
right.
They added
They were
so
your
much to the
favorite
story.
part. They were your favorite
Oh
part.
my god, they were like
Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky. Come on,
Dostoevsky.
come on. That was
That was filmmaking at its finest. It's
All right,
just,
so
yeah.
well, let's talk about this. So, because I
Yeah.
think there's very few things that we didn't like. What were the standout things that we did like? Whether it be a change here or a shot change here or whatever. What were the things that we did like?
Josh, you want to take this one
Loved.
first?
Whew. Okay. Again, what I kind of like standout things. I liked some of the extending like Superman, against the League scenes when he's like, when like the Flash is gonna run him down, he just like steps out of the way, takes him Aquaman out. Love that. I loved some of the added visuals. The visual of the Justice League flying together, over the Batmobile. Wicked. And again, I like that we got more of Joe Morton and Silas Stone. I love that guy. That guy's such an underrated
He's
actor.
such a good actor.
And
It was finally good to see that we got so much more of him because he is such a good actor.
yeah, and then again, more Cyborg story and the black suit, like that stuff I loved. And yeah, I thought that was great.
Cool.
That's for me.
Yeah, for me it was like I just liked the story finally connected.
Yeah.
Right? The connective tissue was all there now. And again, it does elevate the following two films for me. Or the previous two films for me. Sorry, I should correct myself. Right? Because now we have this world that's been built of it, and we have a full explanation and a full understanding. Right?
Mhm.
And I loved that the story was finally fleshed out. I loved the slow motion sequences, even though Josh hated them. Because, like I said, and like Dave Chappelle says, everything looks better in slow motion. But seriously, I like the idea that, it's funny that every time the Flash moved, he was moving in slow motion, but it was to convey that he was moving faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
like, why is he
when you
traveling
think
so
about
far?
it.
I was thinking that. I'm like, why is he traveling so far, but yet his feet are barely moving?
Yeah.
But that happens like every speedster, like the Flash
Yeah.
TV show, Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't actually see, like, they never show them like running like this. It's just like
They did it in like the early 1990s show that was short-lived or something.
yeah, but it's
that.
like it's like one stride and he's across 10 miles in like just one step. I was like, that's not. Wait a minute, that's not how speed works.
Yeah, exactly. I like that Superman was just so much more angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just came to
OP to
crack
the max,
skulls.
yeah.
Just came to crack skulls. He didn't care. Did not care.
Yo, I like that he was the one that shattered the axe.
See, maybe that's what he should have just
Yes,
said.
that's what should have happened in the first one.
That axe hit him, and he should have just been like 0 fucks given.
He
that would have
though.
been the perfect.
He actually should.
Oh, that would have been good, but
him.
he just said, but he pretty much does
Not
flick
impressed.
him though. He's like, I'm not impressed, bro.
Yeah.
It would have worked if it would have worked more if there was a bro there.
He just looks like, nah, bruh.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Claps his ears. Boom.
He pretty much does just blow on the thing and just it's gone, right? On the axe. Dash, what are your takeaways? Your last few things, and then we'll move on to rating this crazy movie.
So no, so there were a handful of things. One, I'll talk about the 4:3 ratio. At first, I was not a fan, but looking at it deeper, I think because of the visual, most of the superheroes fly and everything, it was nice. I didn't even realize it probably after 10 minutes of watching the movie, just because it was dark in the living room. One of the things that I absolutely loved was Bruce's hike to go see Arthur. The ridges in the ice reminded me so much of Batman Begins. And the fact that Nolan was a producer on this movie made that connection between like the Nolan trilogy and this trilogy, I think even kind of bittersweet to me. It reminded me so much of that. I loved that there was blood.
Yeah, well, it worked towards its R rating, and it gave us an R-rated movie.
I
it's kind of an R rating.
No, it's got an R rating. It's rated R. There's 2 F-bombs and blood and gore.
There's actually 3.
There's
3
a third
F-bombs,
F-bomb?
Yeah,
there was 3. Yeah,
one of the bad guys, like one of the reactionary terrorists, at the very beginning, they drop one.
Yep.
Oh, there you
and
go.
I only caught it the second time.
Yep.
There's 3. There's 3.
I was
The fight-
surprised.
It's got
But
its
again,
3 F-bombs.
yeah.
It's got, blood and gore. It's
That'll get you
just
an R.
at R.
All you need is
It's
a nude
great.
scene, and you got an NC-17 rating.
Oh, I would have loved to see what. Never mind.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and Lois. What do you guys say?
Gal Gadot.
Oh, buddy. We got to go with both of them. Anyways, guys, we've come to the point in the show where we rate these movies out of 5. Now, Dash, since you are the Gingerflix All-Star and a guest and a friend, what do you rate Justice League, the Snyder Cut, out of 5 Ginger Snaps?
It is 5. 5 snaps. If I could give it
Full on 5.
Full on 5, and
Wow.
for one reason alone, Martian Manhunter.
You loved that, eh?
I loved it with a passion.
He showed up just because Lois was sad?
I don't care. I don't care. It's something something that was teased as a rumor from Man of Steel. Martian Manhunter.
We were
going
to get him at some point, and we finally got him.
And when we did, when her eyes glowed red, I loved it. I fell in love with it.
Admittedly,
I like the reveal.
it is shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But
it's
cool to have it there.
I fangirled out for a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
a big
okay.
Martian Manhunter fan.
I get it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Josh,
You got 5.
we have a 5. Josh, how many ginger snaps?
I'm gonna go with a 4.
Blasphemy.
Okay.
No, nah, accurate, and I'm being
ahead.
generous.
Oh my.
I got a
like,
hard on
it's-
for Snyder.
Oh my.
Hey, listen, give me Watchmen all day. I love his version of Watchmen, and every time I watch it, it gets better.
Blue penis
300
everywhere.
That's what Josh loves it for.
What's that?
You love the blue penis. That's like your favorite part.
Doctor, he
Ted
can
Mosby would call it a Smurf penis.
All right. Okay.
No, but like,
Yeah, 4 ginger snaps, right?
I give it
Okay,
4. It is leaps and bounds better than the last one. A lot of fan service. Again, just visually stunning compared to the last one.
Yes.
I still, in my opinion, I still feel even. It's just it reeks a little bit of self-indulgence, just a little bit, because I was like, dude, I'm sorry, there are some things you can cut out from this, little pieces of dialogue. Hey, it could still be a 3.5-hour movie for sure. I think that 4 is a little bit much. That being said, I think the characters, so glad that they got to be fleshed out more, and regardless of how I feel that Snyder told the story, like I've talked about in this podcast, I still appreciated the full scope of his vision more.
Right.
And I do wish we got more Superman, though.
I mean,
and I don't like the fact that he always has to be bad. Why is Superman always bad or evil or dark? Like, come on, man. Like, I know that's not the cool thing. Just give me a genuine Superman.
You do this to me every time we have a guest. You know that, right?
You
go so long, and then I get 0 time to put in my comments. You do this every time.
I'm sorry.
I will twist your nipples. I swear to God.
That was one of the other things that we were missing from the movie.
Some nipple twisters, right? Some titty twisters.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm going to give her a 5. I'm with you, Dash. I loved this movie. I loved the cinematography. I loved, like, I film school nerded out. Like, this was, like, this is the movie, this is a superhero movie that you want as a film nerd.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the score was awesome. Like, I liked it a lot more. It was a little bit more interesting. And again, I think it's just because of the updated composer that they got on it, right? Because I'm not a super big fan of Hans Zimmer, but I like the collaboration work, and that works for me. I like that everything was more fleshed out and everybody had, more of a story, and the story was fully told. I love the action sequences. The fights were great. So yes, this is a 5 for me. For me, it's like we said, it's perfection, but there by no means is there a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Dash, where can they find your stuff? I know we said at the top, but give us a quick little thing on where we can find you.
You can find me at Mr-2K. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also on YouTube. And you can follow Shorts and Hoodies every Monday at 12 o'clock. Follow us at SNHPOD.
Awesome. Josh, where can they find our stuff?
They can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Gingerflix Pod People, and Flicks with that X.
Great, guys. Dash, thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Right. For Gingerflix, I'm Joey.
Thank y'all for being on my show.
Yes, sir.
Happy to do it. For Gingerflix, I'm Joey.
And I'm Josh.
And we'll see
And
you guys
for Shorts
again
and Hoodies,
soon.
I'm Dash.
Exactly. Yes.
Damn right.
Yes.
We'll see you again soon, guys. Have a good one.
Awesome. Peace.
Peace.